My name is Carson. Welcome to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. And in today's video, we'll be doing a long-term review on this Spartan enclosed trailer. Currently I'm inside my Spartan enclosed trailer I picked up over a year ago, and we're going to go through all the flaws, the pros, the cons, the good and the bad, everything I've experienced over the past more than a year of ownership of this trailer. I have used this trailer for commercial lawn care and landscaping business, so I do use it pretty heavily during the summer daily, and I'm actually in the middle of doing e-track installation from snaprack.com. I've got a bunch of parts from them that I'm installing and upgrading the interior, so if you're curious about the way I've got the trailer set up, be sure and check out that video. But today's video, I'm not going to talk about any of that. I'm going to be talking about specifically the trailer, what came with it, what didn't come with it, and how it's functioned for me. So pardon the mess, we're currently in the middle of these trailer improvements. But this trailer came with 2 tie downs in the back, and those worked pretty well. I have added some since then, but those have worked. This also has a flip down ramp, which worked really well as the tailgate assist. We've got our drop door there, worked really well. This also has the light here, and this has worked really well too. Adds light to the trailer, which is really nice. This also came with an LED light, works great. I do want to add a battery to this trailer because it only works when the headlights are on of the tow vehicle. This does have a V-nose, and that's been really nice to have. Gives me some added space and storage. And up front here, they're kind of hidden. We've got some more of these tie-down hooks. We've got 4 total tie-down hooks with this trailer. This trailer does have insulation in the ceiling, very thin insulation, but it works pretty well. And we've got 1 by 1.5 steel ribbing for the walls and everything else. Inside here, you can see this trim that I've cut in order to put E-tracks in. And inside the wall there, you can see we've got that steel beam again. As you can see there, that is not painted where it's covered up. So up top here, everything's painted, it looks nice, but underneath it's not painted, so that might rust. It hasn't yet. And then our sidewalls here are 1/4 inch sheeting, and then we've got this trimmed to hide those gaps. As far as the floor, you can see it's definitely seen some wear and tear and abuse, but so far it's held up pretty well for me. Now let's go take a look outside. So one complaint I have with this trailer is, I don't know if this is a poor installation or what, but a lot of times driving down the road, this will swing and this will hook on here somehow. And what happens when that happens is when you open the door, it doesn't open all the way. There's been a lot of times where I'll come into the trailer, walking towards the trailer with authority, go to open the door, and it only opens 12 inches, and I'm trying to force myself through a hole that's not big enough. So not sure if that's really a trailer defect or fault, or if that's just the design style here with this type of hinge, but it has held up. The spring still works, all that, but that catches 10% of the time, and it's just frustrating. As you can see here, it does function correctly, and as it should, as a door stopper. The door here does have a stop that allows it to be held in the open position. You do have to disconnect the chain in order for that to work. And this has since had some issues. That plastic piece is kind of beat up and broken up after only a little over a year's worth of use. I don't use this door holder all the time, just mostly on my landscape jobs, so it's not as frequent, but yet it still has kind of failed in this regard. This does have the RV style door lock, as well as the outdoor lock style as well. Can't remember what those are called. Both work great. I do like having both. It allows me to lock the trailer up and have it secure, but it also allows me to shut and close the door while I'm in the middle of a project and working on stuff. This trailer did come equipped with a LED light package, which if you're buying a trailer, there's no reason not to get an LED light kit. It looks nicer, it's brighter, uses less power. I mean, it's only pros, no cons. The license plate light is again an area where there's improvement to be made. This bracket that holds the license plate is too fat and it sticks out too far, and it actually does not enable the light to shine on the license plate correctly. I'm not too worried about it right now until I get pulled over and get an officer giving me grief over it. I'm not going to worry about it, but it is frustrating. Additionally, as you can see, the light is broken here. One of my kids ran into that and broke that off. so it's not the sturdiest or most strong part. The wiring on this trailer is a little bit deficient. I've had some issues with the wiring. They use the shark bite clamps, which allow rust and corrosion in there. It bites through the insulation on your wire, just causes issues. So I have had issues with the wiring, specifically on the brakes, and all of the exterior light wiring has been fine, no issues there, but the light package really looks nice when it's lit up at night. I did have some issues with the reflectors that were on here. They were really cheap and inexpensive. They had a foam adhesive that failed and the reflectors fell off. Since then I have replaced those reflectors with some DOT sticker reflectors that look a lot nicer. They're sleeker, slimmer, and just a cleaner overall look. These 3 door drop protectors have definitely served their purpose. They're getting worn out. You can definitely see some visual wear. Those are probably a wear component that I probably need to replace here soon. One thing with those 3 rubber pieces is they don't fully protect the back tailgate from damage. You can see here where a rock has punctured and damaged the siding on the trailer. One thing to note, not really trailer related, it's one of the upgrades I've done. I installed this outdoor rated vinyl, and if you are going to be installing vinyl on a trailer like this, anywhere there's seams, you should cut those seams and apply that vinyl fully to the seam. As you can see here, anywhere that I didn't do that, that vinyl has peeled up since then. Water and dirt have got back behind that vinyl and peeled it off, and the sun's faded it and cracked and peeled. This outdoor rated vinyl hasn't performed as well as I would like. It's only been a year and it's already starting to have issues, but it's really having issues wherever those seams are at. The locks and latches on this back door I had some issues with initially. It was really tight to get the gate latched and closed, and since then I found an easy way to expand those. If you pull that bottom lever and pivot it outward, that does give you more gap and leverage in order to do that. The way I found that was actually I closed the tailgate. The way I found that actually was by opening the tailgate, and that lock was on the back of here, and it contacted with a rock or something higher in elevation on the ground, and that pushed that bracket up into the trailer more, and then it bounded up and wasn't able to open it. So once I found out if I grabbed a pair of pliers I could pull that away. So this modification that I did on the back of the trailer on the bar locks was not really necessary. This also has seen some better days. This is starting to wiggle and worm on me, and this piece is starting to get beat up too. This back area does still have some rust forming. You can see back here where it gets grass and grime stuck in here. We get rocks down in these hinges. So this is seeing some wear and tear and abuse, as well as the paint they had here has they closed the door before it was dry, and so it's stuck here, and so there's spots where we've got rust forming where it's peeled back off. And this edge is pretty beat up too. My deck will sometimes hit that, as well as this door. This doorway's got some pretty good nicks and abuse. My mower barely fits in here. You can see here where the mowers rode against the side before I installed my tie-down straps in the middle. As far as the trailer wiring goes, the main harness works fine. My 4Runner has a really deep connector, and it has plenty of length to reach to that. It has plenty of length to reach to my truck. In fact, I've coiled it up around the jack here to make it work. The safety wire, the safety brake cable was not sufficient. It broke pretty quickly within 6 months or so. Frayed, broken, lots of problems there. So I've upgraded here to this accordion style cable. That's working really well. The brake controller is not done very well the way it's installed. The pin contacts the tongue frame, the A-frame, and I feel like there's a better way to do that. It should be installed different. This diamond plating splash guard definitely serves a purpose, and it works pretty well. I do wish they would have gone up higher on that, so that's something you may want to look at if you're looking at trailers. Really hard to protect against this, but way up here, I don't even know how this happens, but I think these are rocks or something slinging up here. So on this side I've got damage there, but that's not really their fault. So you can see here we've got a huge nick right here and a huge nick up here. Both I'm assuming from rocks or trees or something hit the trailer there, but this front face is definitely a place for a lot of damage to be inflicted on. A little bit flimsy. You can see the seams popping there. Self-tapping screws on this trailer, I've had about a half a dozen come out. Broken heads, issues like that. Probably need to go around and either add new self-tappers when they're falling out, or or replace them somehow, put bigger ones in those same holes, just so that these trailer side walls don't start to come loose. Trailer has probably somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 miles, if I were to guess about 8,000 miles on this trailer over the course of the last year. And you can see here the tire wear. The rear tires are about gone. I did have a little bit of a nose high setup before I got my adjustable trailer drop hitch. So I think that's the reason for the wear in the rear tires. When you're towing a trailer, you really want it to be level. That allows those tandem axles to keep the trailer straight, keep your load level, and it just handles much better. Obviously here you can see tire wear is another thing that would help by keeping your trailer level. If it is level, then the front tires and the rear tires will skid about the same, whereas whenever I went around a corner, those rear tires are probably the ones that skid the most. So the rear tire is about gone. The front tire is about 50% tread life. There is some cracking in the tires. I don't know if that's sun rot or just a cheap tire or what that is. These other tires that came on the trailer. I did throw some grease in here, but I've never done anything else to the bearings, and they've held up fine. The suspension's held up fine. Again, I did have that wiring issue back here that I had to repair. This front jack has been replaced. I had an incident with some train tracks that broke the original jack. As you can see here, blew out this front hole area, and I've got a separate video on the replacement of that. This is the original setup I did to replace it. I did upgrade to an ultimate trailer jack. I ended up going back to the setup simply because it was what I was accustomed to and used to, but the ultimate trailer jack really is a pretty neat solution. I think either one of these is a good option to bring the base of your jack up higher, and that was really my problem. That's why I hit the train tracks. That jack probably hung down 4 or 6 inches below the A-frame of the trailer here, and that's just what caused it to snag. So if you can elevate up your base plate on your jack, you're going to benefit from that definitely. As well as the original jack, I believe, was a 2,000 pound jack, and it worked. It just wasn't great for daily use. This is a 5,000 pound jack, and that works much better for my application where I'm using it as frequent as I am. And a jack, I think this jack was like 50, 60 bucks. They really aren't that expensive. So that's an easy upgrade you can do. The undercoating on this is not the greatest. I haven't taken a look at how it's wearing and tearing. Underside's what's going to get all your road grime, salt, all that, and it's not something I've really addressed. It's something I kind of maybe wanted to do is undercoat it. It's one thing you can look at to see how good a trailer manufacturer is. Take a look on the side and see what's coated. The plywood underneath is not coated, so that might rot out eventually, as well as the open braces were not. They may have been painted. I'm not sure what this wrinkle's all about underneath the door here. I'm not sure if they didn't cut that short enough for this siding piece, but over time I noticed that that side is moved a little bit. So yeah, I don't know how well the welds are on this or how well it's holding up. It's getting the job done. Like I said, it's working for me. One thing inside here that's a little bit disappointing to me is that you can see daylight through some of these spots. So go back and forth here, yeah, right there. So you can see we got that daylight hole through there. We've got another one up here that's pretty sizable, and just places where they didn't seal it very well. Here's another one right here. Just little pinholes. Actually, that one looks like that bolt might have come out. Yeah, little places where water can get in. Well, that's another thing I should mention. The roof's done well. It's held up, no leaks. It does hold standing water if it's sitting flat when there's a rainstorm. It will hold water up there, but I've never had any issues with leaks or anything like that. Hope you enjoyed this video, this Spartan trailer long-term review. It's been a good trailer for me to start the business with. If I were to do it over again, I might pony up for a little bit more expensive trailer, spend another $500,000 for a more reputable name or brand. But I mean, really, it has gotten the job done, absolutely. I was looking at a less expensive trailer than this even, and I'm really grateful that I didn't do that, because even this one started to see the wear and tear of what I do every day. If you're just using it on the weekends, occasionally, this trailer would probably last you 5-10 years, no problem. For me, I might have to retire it in 3 to 5 years if I continue to use and abuse it. We'll see how well it lasts, but I'm taking as good a care as I can. If you're interested in any of those other videos I mentioned, be sure to check them out. I've done a lot of towing related videos, hitches, trailer tongue lock, trailer upgrades, enclosed trailer setups. you know, the works. It's just kind of the nature of what I do in my business, so I do share that in my Thrifty Garage channel. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. As well as the open braces were not, they may have been painted, but if not, it's just blah blah blah, whatever.